Hello, welcome back to my stream. It is I, your humble host Sketchy. We are back with Reverse 1999. We'll be continuing chapter 6 side stories. And hopefully we'll finish Marcus's side story on Friday. Because from what I understand, the collab event is starting somewhere in between tomorrow-ish to Friday, something like that, on the in between 23rd and 24th, as far as I can tell. So hopefully we can at least take a glance at it on Friday. I guess we will see how it works out. So anyway, let's get into it. The Tall Lighthouse. Okay. That's a title and a half. Periodical suffering. Jesus Christ. We are getting depression immediately on the silver platter, it seems. There's a survey stage for Marcus as well, but I'll leave that for the end, I suppose. For now, let's get into the story. Right. I seem to have stood still for an eternity, engulfed by a sea of thoughts, kept silent as a cemetery. The 3 lighthouses keepers on the isles still remain, where they should have long passed into memory. Are those scribbles from Marcus herself? So much has transpired upon the Flannel Isles, each and every event etching itself into my consciousness.
History of the Flannel Isles.
Despite all my installments so far on the history of the Flannel Isles, what I've documented barely scratches the surface. I'm guessing this is happening long before the assignment that we met Marcus in. The chapter itself. The readers, I believe, share my eagerness for the next issue of the Daydream Post. Does she have her own magazine that she's releasing or what? Deep breaths. I cannot let them down. The young lady wraps her eyes and refocuses back to her writing. The history of the Flannel Isles column has to fit in roughly a third of a page. But there are so many more stories about the archipelago I've yet to tell. Stories the readers still haven't heard.
Maybe.
Miss Diney mentioned that even the editors have been following the mysteries of the Flannel Isles with intrigue. If I can keep up that interest, she might allow me to an additional section. Okay. So she has a permanent section in a magazine of sorts. Okay. That's still impressive for her age.
Exactly.
That way I can present our readers with more comprehensive look at their stories. Livened up, she dives back into her writing. The Flannel Isles, a small island chain in the outer Hebrides of Scotland, have been a subject of rumor for years. Even up to today, many mysteries still remain here. Of course, to hear it from the credible authorities, the lighthouse and indeed the whole archipelago were perfectly normal, all except for its 3 vanished lighthouse keepers. Okay. Speculation over their disappearance drove the public wild. Yet the authorities claimed they were simply swept away in the deadly storm. Merrily? That's not merrily. That's out of ordinary in of itself. Usually you can hide yourself in a lighthouse safely during a storm. That's what they are for, after all. Partially, at the very least. This, of course, did nothing to convince them. Meanwhile, a sailor claimed to have seen coal-black UFOs over the islands, casting eerie cold beams of light. Considering the setting of this game, that's not out of the question. Other theories included gargantuan man-eating birds, a bottomless abyss, and so on. Well, we've seen man-eating birds, gigantic ones, on the Apiran Island. What was their name? I forgot. But we've met them. Rumors continue to swirl, but the truth remains elusive. The police report, the log entries, and the lack of any recovered bodies, they all scream on one thing. This is no simple disappearance. 12 years have passed, yet driven by curiosity I decided that I must visit the island myself. And there I discovered a never-before-seen logbook. The signature on it reads, James, recorded on December 15th, 1900. Is that how you read it? Or 1900, right. In this case it would read, I think. Right, 1900. The pen hangs in midair like a sail on still water, hesitating to embark on the next line. So much time has passed since the incident, yet the mysteries only seem to multiply. How can I sift through all these story threads? I mean, it seems like this is before she even joined the Foundation, isn't it? I vaguely recall her telling us that she was originally from the Ireland, I think, if I recall correctly. So that would check out. Heck yeah, Marcus story speak? I hope so. I just got into it, so you haven't missed much. Also, welcome back to the stream. How can I sift through all these story threads? Before setting foot on the islands, I heard other unsettling rumors from the sailors. Ships passing too near often find themselves caught motionless on the sea, with eerie and unnatural ooze forming on their decks. These frightful tales have meant that most give this archipelago a wide berth. I'm dropping in to lurk while I work. Have a good stream. Thank you for the lurk anyway. Have a good work day, I suppose. This is a story worth telling. Even with the lurk, you'll be able to rewatch it all on the VOD on my channel afterwards, so there's that. Meanwhile, there's the matter of the island's lighthouse, which has, through unknown means, been kept in operation for 12 years despite being abandoned. Okay, so that's weird. Is it operating itself? Did it become sentient? Is it an arcanist now? All those questions are probable in this setting. We haven't... No, wait, we have seen a sentient building already. The Tuesday's Motel. There's precedent for that. Ah, I was joking, but you know what? This is actually viable. If I failed to include that sort of mystery in my history of Flannel Isles, I'd surely regret it. Which of course leads to the central mystery of them all. The disappearance of the original lighthouse keepers in the first place. Bold for choices, Marcus is nonetheless in a very briny pickle. Briny pickle. That's a interesting statement. An arduous choice lies before the poor girl.
History of the Flannan Isles.
History of the Flannan Isles belongs to the islands themselves. It's only fair that I treat their stories impartially. To turn down the opportunity to tell any of these stories feels like betraying the truth itself. Her gaze wanders, shifting from one page of notes to another. There it is, a narrow path that she could follow to capture the essence of all these stories. I set the logbook aside, noticing the lighthouse just as its light washes past me. After the disappearances, no one proved willing to station on the Flannan Isles. The Alienmore lighthouse was left unmanned, or so it should have been. From the base of the lighthouse, I walked step by step upward. Curiously, I noticed the wooden stairway beneath my feet appears to be meticulously well maintained. And stranger still, it is the warm yellow light spilling from the apex of the tower. From those effects, I'm guessing that this is a recollection in of itself. They usually use that effect to indicate that this is like characters musing of the past in to some extent.
Oh dear!
They all silently yet truthfully convey an astonishing revelation. That this lighthouse has been running just as well as it had since it was abandoned 12 years ago. My footsteps falter, nearly tumbling backwards at the realization. Yet, how could I believe all that I'm seeing? Nevertheless, the slippery moss and weathered scratches adorning the ground proof with the cold logic. Ah, right, this is hairline. Nevertheless, the slippery moss and the weathered scratches adorning the ground prove with cold logic that 12 years must indeed have passed here. Forgot to give her some voice acting on that line initially. Alright, I was supposed to adjust the camera and its frame a little bit to not cover the portraits of characters. Give me a second, I'll adjust this a little bit. Let's make it like so. And the camera up here-ish, right? Play. Move it to the side. No, wait, not that. Camera frame. Itty bitty to the left. A little bit more. Second. Damn it. Fiddly. I'll have to find out a better way of doing this before the stream. Because repositioning it by hand every time is a little bit annoying, I'll have to say. And I moved it a little bit too much. Okay, it should be fine now, I think. Yep, looks alright. After composing myself, I decide to begin my exploration. Just before I alighted, I sounded the ship's steam whistle to signal to passing vessels. if there were any. Then I took the 3 remaining flares. If misfortune befalls me, at least the maritime police can collect my body here within a week and have my story publicized. That's grim. If that must be my last humble contribution to the world. Stepping back onto the island, I no longer feel as relaxed as before. A touch of fear and sorrow occupies me. But thankfully, my heart still harbors the courage to strive for knowledge and human progress. Okay. And to unveil the truth of this mysterious place. Door locks won't bar my way. I deftly climb through the window, entering into a cramped space that, by all rights, should have been long forgotten and moldering. Marcus has fully immersed herself in the world she is recreating, wandering freely along the blank page, then back to the ink-stained words. Wait, is she using her arcane skill to, like, project this place through her words, or what? Or is she really there? Could be either way. The kitchen door is open. Through there is naught inside. Not even a moldy apple, a rotten orange, nor even a cobweb. Well, after 12 years there wouldn't be. All things considered. My mind, as yet stiff with anticipation, suddenly and involuntarily relaxes as it stumbles over an idle thought. Perhaps this was nothing more than a prank, if a poorly executed one. Or perhaps a kind-hearted soul, for the safety of all the ships in the area, made a habit of replacing the lighthouse's lamp and repairing its rusty screws, but both by some secret honor, swore to never tell any of his work. Doesn't sound right to me. Okay. These are, for now, my best theories on the nature of this mystery. Marcus wields her pen with renewed fire, drowning out the sounds around her. Out of obligation, I settled on making a final cursory check before leaving. I think it would mark the beginning of a whole new chapter of this unfolding mystery. Inexplicably, I found myself knocking on the bedroom door, stifling a chuckle as soon as I realized my folly. But as I braced to push open the door, it swings open in spite of me with a grating creak. The sudden movement causes me to stagger and stumble, falling beside the fireplace inside the room. To my surprise, the coal dust under my palms holds a comforting warmth, as if it came from a dying flame, one that could again alight. So someone is using this place still, after all. Two figures form just beyond my vision. At first pale and translucent, but gaining substance as if to match my palpable fear. Marcus is very wordy with her descriptions, using all the big words. Are you a ghost? Or rather, are you ghosts? The pair of specters suddenly shriek, as if in terror. You can see us? And we face each other dumbfounded, before a series of knocks come from the outside, steady and deliberate. Who's knocking then? Who was the one who knocks? The knocking is no longer just a figment of the author's recollection.
Ms. Marcus,
Who's that? Know anyone in there?
Oh,
Ah, yes, a
yes.
moment, please. She hurriedly gathers the papers now scattered across the desk, stacking them aside neatly. Lest the voice outside had grown impatient, she cautiously pulls the door open. Who is it?
Ms. Marcus.
Greetings, Miss Marcus. Oh, so a random member of the Foundation, presumably. The man before her, with his stern grey and neatly patterned tie, nods courteously. Greetings. That's an ominous laugh. You'll see here, I've been sent by the Saint Pavel Foundation. I am the investigator responsible for registering all the arcanists in the Ailen Sierra region. I have no idea if that's how you pronounce it, but we'll go with that. His tone is flat and official, but his bearing exudes an air of entitlement and pride.
What is
Foundation? The significance behind that name has clearly been lost on the young lady. So she's not aware of the Foundation, apparently. Or at least wasn't at the time. So I had the timeline roughly correct. This had to be happening way before she joined with the Foundation. A lone bird or a grey dog? A weird title. Hey. I don't quite remember if it was said that Greta Hoffman herself recruited and saved Marcus from the storm, or was it just the Foundation in general? It was quite a while ago when we played this. The two arcanists at the door exchange identical puzzled glances. The growing tension of the moment proves too much for the columnist to handle.
Oh no,
Oh no, have I misspoken?
it's all my fault.
Was I so immersed in my writing that I neglected the gentleman's summons? I don't recall how many times the door was knocked. Was it 2, 3, or 5? No, perhaps more than that indeed.
Perhaps.
Poor girl is stressing herself over that. The sound of the door seems more muffled than usual. I should write Miss Denai to see if she might buy me a doorbell to send along with my fee. But to travel this way is nowhere near convenient. I doubt anyone besides the post would deliver here. Her thoughts wander further and further, only to be brought back by a deliberate, expectant cough. Was she thinking that aloud? Right, I forgot that Marcus was kind of lost in her own head at times.
Ms. Marcus.
I don't like the tone of this guy. Allow me to get straight to the point, Miss Marcus. Our records show you've not left the Flannel Isles in some time.
Oh.
Yes. To be candid, this choice of accommodation has caused a bit of an inconvenience for our registrations. Most arcanists, at the very least, will frequent a bare minimum of social events like the grand exhibitions or the festivals in Edinburgh. Lady Nellie Melba's divine voice echoes in theaters from Europe to Australia, and if nothing else, the Highland Games attract thousands of spectators and participants every year. Unfortunately, you are speaking with a shut-in, apparently. Kind of a hikikomori, I think. She's locking herself with her work and not interacting with people. Touching grass is optional. Somehow, even the dreariest of my colleagues find time to celebrate these occasions, at least on occasion. Well, apparently not her. I mean to say, the world is filled with all kinds of wonders. And forgive my directness, Miss Marcus, but you ought to consider seeing more of it. And I hesitate to mention... I can imagine the face on Marcus when she's being berated for not touching grass. The man's barrage of verbiage overwhelmed the reclusive lady at the door. I bet. Perhaps this gentleman has caught some kind of mania. Or have I really been isolated on this island too long and forgotten that people are all talkative like that? Like this? Steady on, Marcus. You can handle this. Fists clenched, she quietly cheers herself on. Yeah, gotta psych herself on. Or rather, psych herself up for this. The current situation calls to mind a page of advice from Introduction to Social Etiquette. Rather than admitting their ignorance on a subject, a cultured person is wise to steer the conversation toward the grounds more familiar to both parties. Right. Gaslight gatekeep. Misdirect. And for this gentleman, a most suitable topic would be...
I got it!
Ah, I have it. Let me guess it. Let me guess. She is going to start talking about the weather. Lifting her head, she realizes she must seize the opportunity to pierce through the man's bladder. What does that mean? That's a new word for me. 1 second. Oh, babble. In other words. She's saying that he's babbling. Okay.
Sir?
Second. Ah, there we go. Sir, I believe I've heard a lot about your foundation when I was in the orphanage. Did you? That you were collecting arcanists, particularly children. That's a sus statement. And that you did so by force. I don't remember if it was said that they were doing that by force, or rather they were inviting them initially, and if they didn't go along, then they used force. Huh? Some children said people from the Foundation took away their friends. The investigator's face grows somber. Evidently, the conversation had not been going as prescribed by the Introduction to Social Etiquette. That much was clear, even to Marcus.
Oh!
That was a poor excuse for a joke, Miss Marcus. We are indeed living in a wondrous era where transgressing social norms have become greatly valued. Rationality, science, freedom, and with it, of course, progressive sense of humor. I am sure you only meant to appeal to that transgressive humor, but those accusations are quite inappropriate, even as a joke. So, are you saying that those accusations are not true, then, my dude? Especially as you haven't officially joined the Foundation yet.
No.
Oh, no, I don't mean to offend you. It happened in my home country, in Romania. Ah, right, she was from Romania. My bad. Perhaps things are different here. Regrettably, there's nothing close to applicable in this scenario from her reading of... What? This is a weirdly constructed sentence. Regrettably, there's nothing close to applicable in this scenario from her reading of Introduction to Social Etiquette. Okay. The heavier blows drops as Marcus at last picks up the man's intention in coming all this way.
Oh, wait!
Wait a moment, sir. Did you just mention something about joining the Foundation? Me?
Of course.
That's a weird voice that he has. I cannot even try to emulate it. Naturally. Is there a problem? Adjusts his lapel in both hands as if launching into a well-practiced speech.
Miss Marcus.
Miss Marcus, shall I take it your heart is beating so fast out of excitement? Somehow I doubt it. I understand how you feel. Many new colleagues have experienced similar emotions. But please, don't worry. The Foundation has a full-fledged medical support system. Dental as well.
Sir?
Would you stop for a moment? Her voice trembles as she speaks. I very much appreciate your coming here. I've come to fully understand the importance of the Foundation and its popularity among the other people. And well, of course, I'm grateful for your invitation. But as you can see, I currently have some unfinished tasks at hand, which are related to my dream. Marcus turns her gaze back, staring at the small corner behind the doorway, her world of writing. Oh, a dream. Might I ask what is your dream, Miss Marcus? The investigator nods knowingly, as if Marcus' response is not at all unexpected. I dream of making people aware of mysteries of the Flannel Isles and about the world of Arcanum. And... Aye, well, that is indeed a great aspiration. He steps forward, gesturing towards the boundless sea.
Miss Marcus.
But Miss Marcus, don't confine yourself just to these islands. Look beyond the horizon. The world out there is full of mysteries, waiting for us to explore and uncover. Okay, so he is skilled in this. He is going to play into her interests to give his sales pitch.
Of course.
What a dramatic OST in the background for this. And that is precisely what the Foundation aims to do. Surely you wouldn't withhold your contribution to the welfare of humanity and the progress of civilization. Ha, he's gassing her up. No, indeed, this closely aligns with my goals. It's only that... She pauses, swallowing the rest of her unfinished sentence. The investigator comes to sudden realization as he scrutinizes the girl in the doorway. Oh, of course, you are a renowned writer, with countless readers awaiting your next piece. Marcus hurriedly waves her hand in denial, a noticeable flush spreading from her ears to her cheeks. And now he is buttering her up.
In fact...
No, in fact, I'm really just a Greenhorn columnist. Allow me to make my pitch again. The Foundation possesses a great multitude of literary works from all over the world, be they about humans or canids. Upon joining the Foundation, you need only to fill out a book request form pending approval from our supervisors and administration, and then you can read our catalog to your heart's content. Joining the Foundation would more than serve any writer. Well, that's a good sales pitch, honestly.
But...
There are still so many people curious about the events that occurred here. Stories I've yet to write. More importantly, James, Thomas, and Donald, my friends, they are all counting on me to tell their stories about these islands.
Sorry.
My work here is not finished. She gasps as if dislodging a boulder from her chest. The man frowns, his disappointment evident beneath the polite exterior. Right. Because the Foundation doesn't really take no for an answer, do they?
Alright.
As you wish, madam. I will faithfully report your choice to my superiors. My choice? She panics again. No. I mean, I haven't made any choices yet. I only hope that you might give me some time to consider your proposal. I promise, it won't be long. So she is interested. Whether moved by her nearly pleading tone or swooping in on his speech again, the investigator clears his throat.
But...
As you wish. But I would caution you that the Foundation's enrollment capacity is limited. Right. Should you tarry too long in declining, you may find yourself waiting outside our offices, wishing you'd taken up our offer sooner. When you've made up your mind, send this to the Alliancia. No need to write a specific address, just the Foundation will do. Ah, interesting. He hands Marcus a letter with a checkered pattern, then turns abruptly without looking back. Yeah, that is a curt response. Left alone, the girl sways and collapses to the ground. The blank form is clenched tightly in her hand, creased with worries. The Foundation is a renowned organization, one that possesses a significant number of arcanists like me. It might be a source of insight for my future work. Well, for someone like Marcus, this was a golden opportunity. All things considered. Not to mention Foundation's colossal collection of books both on Arcanum and human society.
But...
Still, I have to think about my readers. They'll be waiting for the latest stories from the Flannel Isles. Not to forget Miss Denehai holds great expectations concerning my work.
History of the Flannel Isles.
How could I disappoint them? Won't anyone help me with this conundrum? A faint cry fails to travel far. It fails to even drown out the sound of renewed knocking. Excuse me, I stumbled on that. Sound of renewed knocking, right.
Hey!
Ahoy, Miss Marcus. You're finally awake. We thought we might find you sleeping outside again. For the 13th time. And with your eyes still open. Why are the portraits like half ethereal? Are they real people or ghosts? Another voice adds to the chorus of cooing over Marcus.
Everyone?
Nothing unusual, is it, boys? Wee Marcus has been... Excuse me. Wee Marcus has been always good at sticking her nose around looking for things she can, what do you call it again? Read. Oh, hello, Mr. Thomas, Mr. Donald, and Mr. James. Are those the ghosts that she met in the lighthouse? Was there 3 previous lighthouse operators that disappeared? That would check out, I think. From what I recall of the start of it. You break our poor ghostly hearts. Ah, there's the answer. Miss, did you hear our footsteps rushing over to you? Well, if you are ghosts, then do you even have footsteps? Marcus gives a quick glance at the three men's feet, which are nearly transparent and hovering slightly off the ground. Exactly my point.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Right, no time for beating around the bush. Caddies, give the letter on over to the lass. I'll bet it's another admirer heaping praises on our Marcus. Another letter is handed to Marcus, bearing a pattern familiar to her. Didn't worry, Miss Marcus. We were good, just as we promised. We remember the tongue lashing you gave us when at last the postman took a tumble into the water from fright. How in the unholy hell did they get the letter from a postman without scaring him to death? Also, how are they carrying it? Can they just move objects as ghosts? Okay, interesting. We are quiet as church mice around the postman lately. Donald? He can attest to it. What with always hiding at a distance like a right coward.
What?
They may call me a coward, but hey, I promise you, Thomas hasn't spooked them. Nary a bad face, no wink this time. Still, the postman turned tail the second he tossed down the letter. And just what are they so afraid of, anyway? Well, normal people don't usually interact with ghosts. This place, I'd reckon. And that's why we need our wee Marcus and his history of the Flannel Isles to tell our story. That's exactly what our wee Marcus is trying to do. Wee Marcus.
What?
What's wrong, Mrs. Marcus? You seem a mite troubled. Something odd about that envelope? Rejection letter. It's a rejection for my 15th edition of History of the Flannel Isles. Huh? Why? So is her column getting cancelled or what? Okay. There's 8 parts again. 3 islands. Part 3. The rejection letter shakes in her trembling hands. We regret to inform you that after discussion by the editorial board, we will be unable to publish the 15th edition of your History of the Flannel Isles. We would like to share with you our primary concern regarding this edition. Since its publication, History of the Flannel Isles has garnered intense discussion among our readers. We are aware of their curiosity about the mysterious archipelago and of your skillful writing. It is this hope that we ask you to revise your latest edition. To reveal the truth about the 3 lighthouses keepers in great detail. It cannot be understated that we are by no means doubting your capabilities, Miss Marcus, but with their limited understanding of Arcanum, most of our readers have expressed that they are more interested in what happened to the lighthouse keepers, the truth. They believe that you can unveil this mystery that puzzled us for more than a decade, and come to a tidy end for the story. So they don't want the truth, they want what they consider the truth to be, rather. In light of our decision, we have already reserved some promotional space for History of the Flannel Isles. We look forward for your revised edition. Yours faithfully, Deny. The letter floats to the ground, falling from a trembling hand. So they don't like her version of the story? They are expecting a different answer? The girl lowers her head, devastation lingering over her. Miss Denai says she is unsatisfied with the latest edition. But aren't these stories all part of uncovering the truth our readers are expecting? The oddly arranged reef, the ultimate cause of the lighthouse phenomena. Aren't the readers curious at all? The truth about what happened to the lighthouse keepers. Did I do something wrong? Well, I'm guessing that most of the readers aren't arcanists, so they are unfamiliar with the arcane reasonings for such occurrences. That would be my guess. The normies don't get it, as they say. Okay. Marcus looks out at the ghost gathered around her. It seems what the readers are really eager to learn about is not the islands, but your legend. The elder ghost pats Marcus on the shoulder.
Marcus.
It's not your fault, wee Marcus. You'd think there were not but spoiled brats left in the world. But you cannot blame them, can you? How could rocks and lighthouses compete with the tale of the three seasoned seafaring spirits? He nods as if he's reluctantly admitting some truth. So they want the story to be more sensational, or what? Some loyalty they've shown. Up until now, they couldn't stop puffing up your work. A brand new approach to the documentary literature. A one-of-a-kind writing style. A highly what was it now? A highly immersive reading experience. The younger ghost recites the remarks indignantly. Jesus Christ, difficult words all around. They said it themselves. And then, in just a blink, our wee Marcus is no longer what is they said? A progressive icon of literary trends. Or some old song like that.
Sir?
Mr. Thomas, please say no more.
In fact...
I could never live up to that kind of praise. Besides, there's no denying it. This is a rejection letter. Marcus's cheeks flush in shame, her head lowering deep into her chest. Suddenly, a flood of thoughts flows into her mind.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, the way I boasted to that Foundation gentleman about my work.
Maybe.
Perhaps he was aware of this letter. Maybe he even secretly laughed at my ignorance. Well, you are overthinking this. I think the dude was just an asshole. Could he have passed by the mailbox on the way here? She repeatedly examines the envelope, as if seeking confirmation of something.
No.
Oh, didn't I worry, Miss Marcus? The glue on the envelope was intact when we got it. Could maybe been opened by anyone else? No, I'm not worried about anything. Still deflating like a punctured balloon, she murmurs to herself.
Perhaps...
The Foundation investigates any arcanist pending registration. They probably examined every letter set to arrive here recently. Can they even do that? If so, they might read out this rejection letter at some book club gathering. Then I could become the laughing stock of the entire Elincia. No, the entire United Kingdom. Oh, right. I'll have to write them. Maybe I could ask the Foundation not to report what I boasted about my literary work. But should I really join the Foundation?
History of the Flannan Isles.
Huh. Could the Foundation be behind this rejection in some capacity? Could they influence the rejection? I wouldn't put that past them. They are not exactly squeaky clean when it comes to underhanded methods to get what they want. Especially the higher-ups. The progress of history of the Flannel Isles hasn't been quite as smooth as I'd imagined. Perhaps I do need more time to think about this. Oh, but that investigator did imply that the Foundation is not particularly patient. Would he take my indecision as disrespectful? Probably. Lightheaded and drained, she braces herself with a fainting step. The spectral sailors gather around, lifting the fallen letter from the ground together.
Marcus.
Raise your head, wee Marcus. I'm sure the lads and I can help. How? In my admittedly humble keen of writing and reading, isn't it so that writers place their most interesting content at the very beginning so that they grab the readers and keep them reading? So if what you are baiting them in with like the likes of rocks, seagulls and lighthouses, well, they are not so much the kind to seize your attention, eh? Right, gotta include a hook. He gives his chest a few pats. No, my humble self, on the other hand, I've lived here for decades. Not to mention, I've been here not living for a decade more. I reckon the memories I've got tucked away could make for some pleasing bait indeed. That's one way to do it. The quiet ghost timidly speaks up. I think maybe James is right. Maybe you could write just a wee bit more about our stories, if you like, that is.
I mean...
I only mean we spent a lot of time on the islands. People don't need to come here in person to see what we saw, to hear what we had. Maybe this could clear up all the fear. Maybe people could... make people curious. His suggestion, through a whisper, speaks volumes. The other two ghastly gentlemen look at him in proud approval.
Great.
Exactly. They must be quite curious about my past, and of course, more than happy to let these youngings glean something from old James' yarns.
Now that's experience.
See, the mind of a seasoned sailor like myself is filled with heart-stirring stories. Hey, I could go on for days. I bet. He proudly strokes his mustache, preserved in spirit, exactly as trim and refined as the old sailor himself.
Oh!
You're pulling my leg, mate. What chance? They'd give a barnacle's bottom about those ancient salty fish tales of yours? Intentional or not, the bickering ghosts dispel the gloom hovering around Mrs. Marcus.
Sirs,
Really? Would you be willing to share your pasts and perhaps even reveal the truth about your deaths?
Of course.
Of course, Marcus. You're our best and our only mate, besides ourselves. Ah. There are some connection issues. Weird. I hope this isn't interrupting the stream itself. Is this the fault of the stream? Of my connection, or this is the problem with the game servers? I'm not seeing any connection issues on the stream, luckily. That's good. Hopefully this is just the game having hiccups. Of course, Marcus, we are our best and our only mate, besides ourselves.
Marcus.
I also want to show you more of this place, to show more of this place to people, before we are completely forgotten by the world. Thank you so much, all of you. She bows sincerely before producing her pen and papers. Ah, right. Now, where do we start? Hey, that's it. A story from some years ago. Back then, of course, I was more than the humble ghost of a man you see before you. I was the leader of this outfit, and these two were my half-witted lackeys. Yet driven by our shared honor, faith, and my keen sense of command, we successfully defended these isles from falling into bedlam. We drove away more than a few greedy moneybags who wanted to claim these isles for themselves. Oh, and I recall we once saved a gargoyle that was dying of thirst. Okay. Through these heroic endeavors, it was wise old Captain James who stood sentinel over these isles, until the incident. The elder ghost rambles on, peering over at his lackeys from time to time.
No.
Oh, what a load of bilge! If you write down anything this salty old bladderer tells you, you'll nay have a reader left.
Sir?
Oh, it's not that we don't like your stories, Captain. It's only you went on a bit. Maybe if you don't mind, we can see if the lass likes my story more.
You fool.
Oh, hey, belittle your captain's storytelling. Insubordination, I say. Ingrate whippersnappers. Didn't I listen to them? We lassie. With my daring navigational narrative, they'll be begging me for your next edition.
But...
It's only, Captain, the story, it's not just about you. All fired up, the trio crowds around Marcus, jostling for increasingly scarce space on her manuscript paper. Gentlemen, please quiet yourselves. We'll do it by turns. Aye, fair enough. Then suppose I should have my go. I hope you're ready, lass, because I can guarantee I've got the best of the best. Now, it was my first winter on this island. On that fateful day, lass, there had been quite a few folks that had alighted with me. Police officers, some repairmen from the Northern Lighthouse board. I think one of them scarpered off with my oilskin coat after they finished tinkering with the clock in the lighthouse.
They...
So there I was. Hey, they're watching them from afar, waving at them as you do. Not that a soul noticed me. Well then. And if you are sitting, I advise you to see then something out of the ordinary happened. For there was a sky-shrouding fog that enveloped all the islands around the alien moor, and even our most advanced telescopes couldn't see but a half nautical mile away. Some folks panicked. Ere long, the damp mist soaked straight into everyone's clothes, and that's when I noticed my body had turned transparent. Huh? So he only noticed that he was dead?
Then...
There was a great honking rumble, what grew closer and closer. I raised my head. Before me was a gigantic towering wave, like the likes of which could submerge half the island and a little more besides. Darn near swept away the lot of us. A few survivors there threw themselves onto the boats by the shore. If I go to wipe the water from my face, took all but a second, and then, I swear on me mum, when I looked up, the fog had gone, and the survivors' boats were all anchored steadily. Must have been 5 miles out. Then it seemed just as quickly as I blinked, they were moving again, racing towards the horizon at the speed of 14 knots or more.
Oh dear.
Oh my, that is truly astounding.
In fact,
Astounding, eh? Maybe. But it's the truth, I'm sure of it. I've kept it locked up tight in my mind since that day.
but
Well, Miss Marcus, I don't mean to interrupt, only I don't think that really happened. Oi, Donald, you wait your turn to tell the little lass your story. No need to go mucking mine up. Mark my words, Mr. Marcus. Mrs. Marcus, you are going to reel in the readers with the story. Provided, of course, that you choose it as the feature of your next edition. Her motionless pen gives away her hesitation.
Marcus.
Perhaps you might like to listen to my story first, Miss Marcus. When I was a wee bairn, my granddad told me a lot of stories about these islands. Only back then they weren't called the Flannel Isles. Elian Moor and its 6 nearby islands were altogether referred to as the 7 Holy Isles. Someone claimed to have unearthed some skeletons here, and the bones were those of infants, and some said they must have belonged to another race. Sounds like complete bullcrap, okay? So, for a while, this place was known as the Pygmies Isles. The emotion carried in his tone is so intense that his ethereal form almost feels corporeal for a second. It was because of these stories that I joined the Northern Lighthouse boat and became an assistant lighthouse keeper. Lighthouse keeper here right after I finished my schooling.
I hope
to uncover the truth about the Pygmies Isles. So, did you succeed? No, but I managed to find some clues, some signs that there were mysterious animals hereabouts. Perhaps the Pygmies really did live here. The other two breathe a sigh of relief. I'm afraid there isn't much meat on the bone of that tail, lad. It won't be due for the main dish of the wee lass's edition. He strokes his mustache, feigning a sense of pity.
That's right.
Sorry, lad, but your story is even mustier than the captain's. And his was rustier than a knight's armor. It might impress a few old folks, but other than that, it's a dud. But I have evidence, Miss Marcus. I'll prove it to you. The 3 spooky would-be storytellers devolve into another fruitless argument.
Now that's experience.
Not one of you has the learning to understand the minds of our lass's readers. She needs a proper story, from a refined gentleman with a wealth of experience. They are not helping. Oh, sod off with your experience. What the lass needs are the events that led us to our deaths, not moldy old sailors' yarns. Oh, aye. Memory, was it? And you said I was spinning yarns. I've never seen anything like what you described in all my years here.
But
Aye, can I go making things up just for a nice story? Oh, but well, Captain, I don't suppose you even remember what that so-called gargoyle looked like, do you? Unless you do, I mean. The debate is headed nowhere fast. I think we ought to leave it up to Marcus to decide. The 3 shift their gaze onto the girl before them. And she is overwhelmed, unsurprisingly. Captain James' recollection is certainly the longest and most complete. I'm sure the readers will appreciate his thoroughness. But Thomas's experience have the closest ties to the outside world and the mysteries of the depths, which might corroborate some circulating rumors. As for the story of the Pygmy Isles, it seems like it might have the most rich historical elements. All of these are worthy of being recorded in more detail. Her evasive gaze can't escape from the three spectral lighthouse keeper's eager eyes. She finds herself caught between the ghosts and the deep blue sea. Miss Marcus. Her lips tremble slightly with the manuscript paper in her hand. I will include all of your stories, I promise. I dare not overstate the literary value of this edition. I can only share with you that it is inspired by the experiences of the three ghosts, the very lighthouse keepers who disappeared here 12 years hence. Dear Miss Denahai, I write to you in hopes that this latest edition will prove more than satisfactory. Did I make the right choice? Or rather, did I ever have a choice? In any case, I finally completed my edition. Phew, I hope nothing interrupts the delivery. Moreover, I hope it doesn't get rejected again. Illuminated by the dim reflection of the lighthouse's beacon against the pressing clouds, a heavy stack of manuscripts paper is tossed into a lonely rusted mailbox. Okay. So that was part 3. I'll take a short bathroom break before we jump into part 4. So 1 second. Okay, and I'm back. So 1 second, and we'll be continuing. Stage 4, a fraudster. Who is it referring to as fraudster? Marcus herself? A blank page is folded and unfolded again and again. Her hands repeat this action unconsciously as Mrs. Marcus murmurs anxiously to herself.
Theoretically...
My latest edition of History of the Flannel Isles should have been published in the Daydream Post yesterday.
But...
I know that if the editors weren't satisfied with the entry, it would have been rejected 2 days prior. But Mr. Thomas says we've received no letters at all as of yesterday. So it passed editor's review. It must have. I should let myself feel some relief, thanks to the help of my ghostly friends. This latest edition covered some truly extraordinary topics and gave the readers the opportunity to better understand the Flannel Isles. Maybe it will even spur a tourism boom for the Flannel Isles. The local council will be very happy for it, I'm sure. And Miss Denai, well, she'll be the editor of the year and get a substantial bonus for her tour of Europe. She provided me with so much help in writing a history of the Isles and in life more generally. She most certainly deserves this. I hope she will find time to send me a few new books during her trip. I never had the chance to read the complete anthology of the story of Sarah. Mr. Alice is truly ingenious. Even just the few excerpts I have from his work have inspired me so much. She muses to herself, losing herself in the tranquil depths of the world of literature. Unfortunately, her moment of tranquility passes all too quickly.
Marcus.
Miss Marcus, a whole platoon of postmen just got off the ferry. Somehow unperturbed by the painting ghost popping his head out through the wall, Marcus reaches the meaning behind his message in a sudden rising start.
What?
A platoon of postmen? Hey, a whole slew of them. The lads, and I think it must mean your new addition was a cracking success.
Maybe...
All those high-nosed hobnobs are probably planning to invite you to give lectures all around the world. Now didn't go forgetting us with your sudden fame. Remember, it was your ghostly mates who got you here. Miss Marcus rushes to her coat, and together they speed towards the island's mail drop-off. I'm guessing that this won't be all rosy like that. 3 ghastly gentlemen and 1 gasping girl stand in front of the small mailbox, exchanging anxious looks.
Marcus.
Ahoy, gentlemen, Miss Marcus. The postman already came and went. Left as soon as they dropped off these letters.
They...
Wow. That's a lot. That's it? They didn't ask for any local postcards? Perhaps an autograph from the start of the latest edition? Well, no, I suppose I didn't want to spook them, since Miss Marcus asked us not to.
Everyone?
Ah, yeah. They were the ones spooked, eh? Just as well, lad. Well, need some time to adjust to our new lives as undead celebrities. Now stiffen up, only a landsman gets nervous over a little rising tide. These letters are all for me? Well, are they? The ghosts nod in unison. It can only be, we miss. We've most certainly written a fine piece. Only natural that it might bring about a bit of zealotry.
But
Still, there are so many letters. After adjusting her scarf, in an attempt to cover the flush of her cheeks, she reaches over quickly for one of the letters. But as she opens it, the words within leave her painfully stunned. Huh? I want to apologize for my candor, writing to you as a fan of the much celebrated writer of History of the Flannel Isles. But I feel I must express my disappointment, not just for myself, but for the thousands of other readers now feeling equally deceived. When I first read your column, I was captivated by its vivid psychological descriptions and detailed introductions, prompting me to buy issues after issue of the magazine and even recommend it to my friends and family. Yet I see now you and your publisher have concocted a massive fraud, leading us in a long con to rob us of any satisfaction. Her hand freezes in place, unable or unwilling to turn the page. So people didn't like it. The Daydream Post never stopped praising the upcoming edition of History of the Flannel Isles. They claimed it would finally lift the cloud of mystery looming over the Flannel Isles once and for all. I waited eagerly for almost a week for this vaunted new edition that was supposed to unveil all mysteries. Only for you to introduce some sad old captain with a ghost story, an overly foggy day, followed by some island-swallowing wave, and then a bit of old history about these 7 holy isles. What did they expect, honestly? And nothing else. You claim these ghosts have spent more than 12 years on the island, yet you still do not provide a shred of explanation concerning their disappearance, or why is it they became ghosts. You take the word of these ghosts at a face value, but are their memories even reliable? Do they have any credible evidence? Well, there are ghosts. What kind of evidence could they have? If these are truly ghosts, then why can't they tell us where their missing bodies are? How can you possibly prove that this isn't just another Arcanist rambling about their own fairy tales? You try to obfuscate the hard questions with these twisted yarns, but all you've done is create more mysteries. Well, that's what the editor wanted. Stretching them out like a old taffy. But I see through it. You never had any intention to conclude this story. You've been striding us along the whole time, stringing us along. You, madame, are nothing but a fraudster. Harsh. Marcus stands still, her mouth agape, unable to make a sound. This letter is truly terrible. Maybe it's just a joke. Like the awful pranks Captain James and Thomas sometimes play on me. Now, steady on. We Miss Marcus. It's but a white shot across the bow. Don't mistake it for a barrage. The rest of these are sure to be glowing reviews.
I agree.
Hey, the old foghorn's right. Every 12 lass or lad thinks he's a critic these days. Let's leave it to professionals, eh? Where's that letter from Miss Dene? If anyone knows what way the wind's blowing, it will be her. In a daze, Marcus rummages through the pile of letters, as if seeking a life preserver in a stormy sea. Soon enough, she finds what she's looking for. Dear Miss Marcus, I'll illustrious writer for the History of the Flannel Isles column. Dear Miss Marcus, first as a matter of business, I must admit that yesterday's issue of the Daydream Post featuring your History of the Isles was a tremendous sales success. I bet. Spurred on by the delay caused by your previous edition, it seems our journal was sold out within hours by your eager readers. But we'd only just started on the second printing before a group of frenzied readers stormed up to our office. They were waving their arms, shouting things like "Refund! This is fraud!" And one particularly exuberant fellow claimed he'd be writing to the Prime Minister to report you. Well, that's your fault, Miss Dene. You caused this. After communicating with them, we realized they were all loyal readers of the History of Flannel Isles. They called your History of the Isles a premeditated scam disguised as a documentary. They accused us of conspiring with you to deceive everyone. Well, you screwed up her series yourself. What absurd allegations! They even redirected their dissatisfaction with History of the Isles onto us, a small-time publishing house. To be perfectly candid, we did launch a significant promotional campaign before the release of this issue. However, it was not a hasty decision. It was out of our trust in you. Oh, of course they are redirecting. You promised us in your submission that all your descriptions were based on the first-hand experience of those directly involved. You are responsible for their authenticity. Regrettably, things have now developed beyond anyone's imagination. We believe that if you cannot sufficiently meet the reader's expectations in the next edition, with a sensational conclusion or some sort of revealing of ultimate truth, otherwise, you may need to consider a new pseudonym, or perhaps a change of subject beyond the Flannel Isles, or more simply give up on the job altogether. Well, great job, you ruined her career, effectively. We sincerely hope you consider our advice above. Your advice previously got her in this hot water. Right, and she's devastated. The bitter sting of the letter saps the strength from her legs, as she collapses slowly to the ground and into a heap. Right. The ghosts attempt, as best as they can, to make out what the rest of the letters hold. It is despicable that you would abuse the sacred power of the pen to promote this bizarre so-called arcanum. And how much worse for its plodding, unconnected narrative. If anything at all of what you said was true, it would only mean our world has gone mad. Right.
No.
Wrong letter, Solilas. He paints a soft bombing whistle as he tosses the letter aside.
Marcus.
Allow me, Miss Marcus. If my ears have proven of any use at all, it has been in discerning truth from slander. I wish to extend my congratulations to the author for what must have been a handsome fee of earned yourself with your talents, chief of which must be in huckstering and forgery. I pray you fare well during the coming police interrogations for this fraud of an edition. Hopefully, they'll be trained to make sense of this arcanistat. So just because they don't understand arcanist matters, they got mad. Typical normies. Apologies, it seems wisdom does not always spring from age. I think I maybe found one that isn't quite so terrible. Really? Dear author, I wanted you to know that I fully understood the deep meaning behind this publication. It is crystal clear that you drew inspiration from the stories of Penelope and the Danaides as you prepared us for an endless tapestry of a bottomless bucket. What? An endless tapestry and a bottomless bucket? That's a weird statement. I'm so glad to be able to bear witness to what you've created. A torture to the senses which has left me wishing to swap places with Tantalus himself. So long, and good riddance to your intermediate stories.
Sorry.
Sorry, Miss Marcus. I was never much for reading. Was that not good? Thank you all the same, Donald. He nods weakly towards Donald. Then in a slow fall, to match the crashing waves against the shore, she collapses completely to the ground. Right. This is what you get when you listen to the advice of people who only watch your career from the side. Honestly, sometimes the author knows the best what the readers or the audience wants. Not the people giving advice from the sides. Okay, part 5. We should be able to go through this as well. The protagonist. So, what now, Marcus? The ghosts clamp together anxiously in the dim room. Marcus sits up in bed after a struggle, the harrowing words in those letters still reading through her. All coming together in a catastrophic clash of anxiety, dread, and helplessness. The nearby voices grow louder, dragging her out from one kind of havoc to the next. I'm dreadfully sorry, lass, but let's get on the writing the ship. We canna bilge the water in if we didn't find the holes. It's evident to me that our failure must be laid on Mr. Thomas. It's very clear that his far-fetched tale has set your readers off. Oh, sod off, my dude. They didn't like any of those stories.
Everyone?
I can't imagine anyone wasting their precious time reading something so bizarre and fanciful, the likes of which surely spoiled many an afternoon tea. Crosses his arms, turning with vexed expression to his compatriot.
No.
Oh, it was my part, eh? Here, and I thought the captain goes down with the ship.
In fact...
Didn't you hear what the wee miss had to say? Her readers want positivity and progress, not ancient prattle. It was your bit what steered us onto the rocks. Those yarns of yours were so long they'd not fit in my granny's attic. Miss Marcus' readers probably nodded off halfway through. Oh hey, whine all you like. But you know storytelling, eh? I'll bet you didn't even know your Shakespeare from your Shelley. James' translucent face turns red with anger, with mustache bristling. Stop, please, both of you.
Sirs!
Please calm down, gentlemen. Let's hear what Donald has to say.
Sorry.
Well, I don't mean to speak out of turn, but lying is a worse sin, so to speak. I must. I reckon it was both of your stories that did this. Captain, your story was nothing more than a chance for you to show off. You distorted the truth, even when it went against what Thomas described.
But
I think that our story, Miss Marcus's work, I mean, it should have focused on the mysteries of the Flannel Isles themselves.
That's right.
Well said, Donald. And you,
But...
Thomas, your story had just as many mistakes. Just of different sort. You did exactly what Mrs. Marcus' readers say they hated. You gave her story with mysteries A, but no ending. How could anyone be happy with that? It's just... I just said what I knew, nothing more. No lies, no reservations. 12 years ago and more, we've been on this island. Still, you both know nothing about this place. About anything. And you didn't have at least the wits to trust someone with experience.
Marcus.
Actually, Miss Marcus, I'm afraid, well, maybe this isn't our fault entirely either.
Hmm?
You are blaming me? Well, blame no. Only you are the one who wrote down our stories. We are not writers, miss. We didn't know what bits are important and how to finish the story. Maybe your readers are angry for good reason. Maybe you should have based the edition on what I said about the 7 Holy Isles and the Pygmies. Then you could have given them a proper investigation, something really to talk about. Right. They all blame each other. Ah, so now we see, Donald. If only we had listened to you, eh? Not so noble now, eh? Face it. Face it, lad. That story of yours was weaker than a watered-down whiskey.
Great.
Thomas is right, laddie. Though only in as much as they say about broken clocks. The truth of the matter is clear, lads. The Wimmies should have only used my story. She should have used neither of your stories, let's be honest.
Excuse me.
Oh, hey! And what makes you say that? Right.
No, it's
Please
not
stop.
right.
The spirited voices of the heated quarrel engulf the entire room. In her despair, Marcus begins to question herself. Honestly, she should just decide to write about what she knows and loves, and listen to no one else giving her advice. Because clearly what she was doing was working. When exactly did this story of mine turn into a catastrophe? Was it when the deluge of angry letters arrived? Was it when I submitted the revised manuscript? Or was it when I hesitated to choose between their stories?
Can I do it?
Maybe I'm not truly cut out for this job. When I began writing, I wanted to record everything, every piece of knowledge, especially those lesser known facts. Things that might be lost in time, that might go silent if I wasn't there. Stories that could be exquisite, delicate, captivating, or at least relatable. But what has all that work brought me? As Marcus closes her eyes, agonizing memories flash over the theater of her mind mercilessly. Her dream seems to be pulling her further and further away from her. I dreamed that my work would help humankind to understand and accept Arcanum. But now my column is being bashed by my once loyal readers. They even stormed the Daydream Post, who must must have lost her chance at the Editor of the Year award. Honestly, she was just as much to blame for this as anyone else involved in this. Even more so, if you ask me. Perhaps. Oh, what if this leads to the entire community to distrust any future writing related to Arcanum? Or worse, those who still read them might become labeled as occultists or lunatics. Then human society's discrimination against Arcanists might grow even more severe. Not just in the Flannel Isles, no, maybe against the entire Arcanist world. And I will be the catalyst those horrible writing divided the two races even further. Well, that divide is what caused them to be angry at you to begin with. You didn't create it, you were just affected by it, by proxy.
It's all my fault.
Marcus covers her face with her palms, but no amount of self-pity can drown out the squabbling spirits. And those assholes are not helping. I only hoped to alleviate their loneliness by reading this island and documenting its stories. I just wanted to share them with the world.
Why?
But now these ghostly gentlemen, protagonists in my latest disaster, are tearing into one another before my eyes. My writing didn't bring them happiness. It intensified their misfortune.
No.
But all I wanted to do was tell a fascinating story. She lets out a loud cry from her corner, hoping to silence the continual bickering, even for a moment. To her surprise, the argument stops, indeed. Did that actually work?
Hey!
Oi, pick yourself up, Marcus. Someone's at the door. The girl comes back to her senses, pulling herself to the door by will alone. Will this be the recruiter from the Foundation or who? A figure at once familiar and strange stands before her.
Good to see you, Miss Marcus.
Oh. That's Greta. Cool. So it was her who directly recruits Marcus, I'm guessing. Good morning, madam. My name is Hoffman, and I've come a long way to see you. Interesting. So, presumably, the Foundation sent Greta to make another attempt at recruiting Marcus, I'm guessing. Okay, we are close to finishing for today. I think we could do one more part. Should be able to. Okay. Part 6, Preface. The figure of a woman dressed in a long brown coat walks ahead at a steady pace, followed by the nervous young lady.
Excuse me?
Excuse me, are you from the Foundation?
Yes.
Yes, it seems I will be able to skip my introduction. Hoffman nods, seemingly ignoring or neglecting the panic in Marcus's tone.
Sorry.
I'm sorry for having made you come all this way. I will respond to the Foundation as soon as possible, I promise. Hoffman halts her steps and turns around. Her puzzled gaze accurately catches Marcus's evasive eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? The Foundation's application has been approved by the local government. From today onward, a small portion of this archipelago will be set aside for our own use as an experimentation site. Huh? They annexed the island? Experiments?
Yes.
Yes, for an upcoming observation project, jointly operated between the Foundation and Laplace. It involves a new arcanist theory. Am I not supposed to know about this? Marcus takes a few steps back with a flinch.
No problem.
No, it's not confidential. Laplace does not intend to keep its work here a secret. Observation project Laplace. Emerging arcanist theory.
I got it!
Oh, I think I've read about this before. The study of the ley lines?
Yes.
Correct. Laplace published the theory in the second edition of the Frontier of the Times Journal. Just some basic introductions, of course. Nothing monumental. Hoffman nods, nonplussed by Marcus's breadth of reading. The Foundation will be responsible for this project's application procedures and field confirmation. Of course, we will aim to minimize any impact on the natural surroundings as much as possible. She turns around to look at the solitary tower perched on the cliff. Should you or they have any concerns, please contact our Aliencia branch for further assistance. So you are not here about my investigation? My sole task here is to survey the Flannel Isles. I have no time nor inclination to meddle with the affairs of some unregistered arcanist. So what do you want with her? The lingering specter of the other investigator finally fades from her mind.
Of course.
My visit is not part of any assigned mission. I see.
This is out of my own interest, as a reader.
Really? Okay, so Hoffman was a reader of her column, apparently?
What?
What? You read my column?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, from the first edition to the very latest, I must say they have been very informative. The horrifying letters from before seem to have grown wings, ready to swarm Marcus once more. She bows her head as if awaiting the imminent drop of a guillotine. Out of curiosity, I went through the trouble of finding some of your earlier works. You have covered a wide range of topics in great detail. Unfortunately, it seemed the space provided to you by your magazine has been till now quite limited. Oh, those... they weren't much, just few jottings, really. I thought nobody remembered them. Through her body feels stiff, Marcus forces out an awkward smile. Arcanum and Lighthouse Lens Maintenance. Do you remember this article? That was my first submission after arriving in the Flannel Isles from the Romania. Hoffman nods, indifferent to the nearly overwhelming blush on Marcus's cheeks. The way you relate the specifics of lighthouse keeping with such great enthusiasm. It was as if you felt it had something to offer to every reader. The internal structure, differences in lighthouse design in various locales, the evolution of light sources, advancements in lamp maintenance, even the ideal number of lighthouse keepers.
Frankly,
I found it perhaps a little overthought, but still undoubtedly worth reading. I'm so... Huh?
well, if...
Dear friends, imagine a flame that requires no fuel, immune to extinguishing no matter in cold wind or heavy rain, and shines bright enough to illuminate the sea even through the thickest of fogs. Might we then be able to save on nearly a century's worth of gas or electricity expenses, and redirect those funds to more pressing matters? As it happens, on a small island surrounded by warm waters, there exists just such a fiery creatures. These docile and nocturnal creatures could well be suitable for use as endless reproducible light sources. There were many more descriptions like this. I'm surprised you remember them so well, Madame Hoffman.
Miss Marcus.
She was a fan, it seems. Miss Marcus, you must understand one thing. Though discrimination against Arcanis has become less severe in our era, it remains, for most humans, an ingrained habit. One that won't change overnight.
Why are you still trying to introduce Arcanum to the human world you're not familiar with?
Marcus falls silent for a while, her previous blush turning into a cold sweat. Her unspoken thoughts, aspirations as a writer, and her inner struggles, it felt as though this Hoffman saw through them all. Yet feeling as though she had been spared the headman's axe for today at least, she raised her eyes upwards. I suppose that's a valid question. Perhaps I am too naive.
In fact,
For me, I've always seen the world as just a kind of puzzle book. Perplexing riddles, obscure words, and bewildering images. One I was happy to keep at a distance, even if it had many pleasant aspects. Human science, progressive ideologies, arcanist sports, various newly discovered critters, and many, many more. I wanted to share those things, the pleasant ones. They deserve to be known by more people, whether humans or arcanists. Her voice is trembling, yet grows more resolute on each word.
if I keep reading, I'll eventually find the answers to everything. I can introduce human arts and crafts to the arcanists and demystify arcanist fables and legends for the humans.
Well, that's a big dream, but not something that you can accomplish on your own, I don't think.
I'll be the bridge between humans and arcanists, helping them understand one another. Oh dear.
Oh dear, did I say that all out loud? She awkwardly gasps, trying to take in a great puff of fresh sea air, her face flushing red from ear to ear. Still, a gentle but intentional clap of applause follows.
That is a great aspiration, Miss Marcus.
The Foundation has been working towards the very same goal. Thank you for your kind words, Madame Hoffman. Yet the catastrophe flashes through her mind once more, plunging her back into cold reality.
In fact,
Only it seems my writing has done nothing but push me further from my goal. Not only have I failed to demystify Arcanum, I failed my publisher's expectations and my readers. I couldn't even write a serviceable story. Ah, do you mean this edition? Hoffman produces a folded magazine, the images of the Flannel Isles on its coldly clutch. The images of the Flannel Isles on it coldly clutch at Marcus's heart. Right. You didn't throw it away?
You underestimate yourself, Miss Marcus. The story isn't as hopeless as you think.
Well, if the reaction was so strong from the detractors, there had to be a big silent majority that liked the story. Usually people that enjoy the stories are the quiet ones. The ones that are the loudest are the detractors, usually. I don't quite understand what you mean. Her breath quickens. Dan Hoffman, are you saying that I might still be able to turn this story around?
The readers.
Humans often read things different from Arcanists, but Arcanists consider perspicuous being on the contrary read as unfathomable to humans. I'm stumbling a lot today. Compared to the wild, divergent way of thinking of arcanists, humans are more inclined towards concrete conclusions backed by hard evidence. After arriving here, I quickly grasped the gap in thinking between yourself and the human readers of the history of the Flannel Isles. To begin with, just how many people do you think are aware of the existence of ghosts? Marcus stops in place as she goes over Hoffman's unexpectedly stunning question. Well, I understand the story of the Brown Lady of Ryan Hall is widespread. Many people have tried to find her. Meanwhile, the ghosts of the Graham mansion are probably only known to the Scottish people. The White Lady is quite famous in Germany, but people mostly tell her stories to scare children.
Good.
Ah, so now you see it, don't you, Miss Marcus? History of the Flannel Isles is published in the Daydream Post historical column. For most of its audience, the existence of ghosts is beyond far-fetched. For you to adapt the stories of 3 ghosts without even taking the time to explain the ghosts themselves to your readers, well, is it any wonder so many doubted you?
The readers.
Your readers couldn't see and understand your ghost friends as you do. Nor could they have realized these ghosts were nearly as equally about the truths of the Flannel Isles as anyone else. That's a weird sentence. Were nearly what?
The readers follow the ghosts throughout the story, but never got to know them. They also couldn't fully understand the parts on Arcanum. The readers didn't feel engaged.
Probably. Hoffman puts away the magazine. You're right. I kept saying that I wanted humans and arcanists to understand one another, that I wanted to bring the readers a more profound experience, but in doing so I overlooked the obvious. How did I let this happen? A strong sense of regret surges up to her throat involuntarily. Humans are often unable to sense the subtle folds in emotions. They are confined by the rational senses. On the other hand, arcanists can just as easily be trapped by their emotions, overlooking the obvious, as you say. So,
Don't blame yourself for this.
don't blame yourself for this. A touch of warmth reaches Marcus's shoulder. Marcus lifts her head blankly, not yet realizing that Hoffman picked up her pen from the ground.
As an arcanist, you can read the intricacies of the worlds that others would easily miss, but that is also the problem. Human readers are more used to sifting through clues and details to make logical sense of the story. They also like to simplify things and draw a single conclusion. I think...
If you would permit me to offer some editorial advice for your history of the Flannel Isles, I have a suggestion.
But...
Please tell me.
You need to find some answers of your own.
Right. Conclusions of my own? I think you yourself do not yet know all the mysteries of the Flannel Isles. But do you believe you can unravel all the truths about this place? No, I don't think I can. Perhaps creating this column was a mistake after all.
No.
No, Miss Marcus. Not knowing the truth is nothing at all to be ashamed of. Rationality drives us to understand reality as we see it. Curiosity aids us in searching for the puzzles yet to be solved. Both of them must be fuels that power your writing. I thought a writer should be absolutely certain about everything they write. That's certainly untrue. If my readers want conclusions, how could they accept there are puzzles that even I cannot solve? think they will, if you offer them the chance. They will understand your confusion and curiosity, as well as your passion for trying to unravel these mysteries. Whether you find the truth or not, it is your journey that keeps us engaged. What they need is an exhilarating experience from the perspective of an arcanist.
Can I do it?
Spark their curiosity with puzzles I have still left unsolved. Do you think my story could really do that? Can I really inspire them to seek the truth themselves? Well, presumably.
Maybe.
Perhaps. To seek the truth is a long journey, but still.
When we bravely admit that truth doesn't always exist, we find another truth, and this courage deserves respect.
The sun isn't any brighter than usual, nestled under the blanket of cloudy sea air, but its dazzling warmth still seems to scorch her for the first time in a long time.
Madam Hoffman?
Madam Hoffman didn't stay long, but she left behind a journal filled with her comments and suggestions, and an address as concise as she was, to a nameless small island near the Flannel Isles, where Madam Hoffman said she will continue her work for a few weeks before returning to the Foundation. She also spoke with me about joining the Foundation before she left. But for the time being, I still felt I had more pressing matters to attend to. I picked up my pen and courage again to face up to my catastrophe and overcome it. I took Madame Hoffman's advice to her heart. My writing was no longer cramped with every detail until I began to scribble in the margins and between the rows. This revision was, quite frankly, an extensive overhaul. The gentleman ghosts voiced some overeager protests despite my repeated apologies, but Madame Hoffman's comments and suggestions instilled great courage in me. And finally, I completed it. How will it work out, I wonder? I guess we'll find out on Friday, because we are out of time for today. We've got 2 parts left and the survey to complete. I think that should be enough for Friday's stream, and we'll be able to dip our toes into the collab event as well. At least I hope so. So, thank you for watching, if you did. If you missed anything from the stream, I recommend going to my YouTube channel, which is linked in the description on my Twitch channel. Also available through the exclamation YouTube command in chat. And the upcoming schedule for my streams is available on my Discord server, which is also linked in the description in both Twitch and YouTube. And is available through the command of exclamation Discord in chat. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll be taking my 1-hour break now. We'll be back in about an hour around 6 PM GMT+1 with our Cyberpunk 2077 stream. So, till then, ciao!